Like its forerunner, it features a glum cop on the trail of rural nastiness in a landscape of dense forests, roaring S and rusting tractors. Modishly shot and fussily lit. It looks like something that might win prizes in Lithuania, a very European work of television rather than a British television show. That works well for Wales, though. The language and the landscape stressing the distinctiveness of the place and people and perhaps even the crimes that happen there. In a tradition almost as old as the Cambrian Hills. Cardi John, Sean Reed Williams, is the cop who has come home, in this case to lend her two sisters a hand in caring for their ailing dad. In the first installment, she was swiftly diverted from daughterly duties by a body in a river. Marley Price was 16 when she went missing in 2011. Forensics suggested she was held captive somewhere for a long time. In the murky mix were two young women who look like they would have been contemporaries of the troubled teen. A health visitor being stalked by an increasingly unhinged ex and a self-harming student, both watching the TV news with more than the usual degree of interest. Then, of course, there is quarry worker Dylan Rodri Melier, who lives on a remote wooded site that is more of a compound than a farm, with a terrifying mother and a secret bunker. It is a setup dripping with darkness and intrigue, lent to fairy tale nastiness by the hills and forests, not to mention Dylan's club-wielding ma'am. It is also one of those imports, if that is the right word, where the foreign language is a bonus. Welsh is always a bewitching tongue to hear and it adds to the atmosphere. It is also fair to say that some of the English dialogue is dire in the extreme. Once the job gets into your veins, it never leaves, said Caddy's ex-copper dad, Hugh Ian Sainer. The east wind always brings trouble. Of course the Welsh might be just as bad, but in the many countries this cop show will be sold to, few viewers are going to know. _journey in the danger zone, Iraq, Sunday. BBC Two managed to find the bright side of death in the holy city of Najaf. Among the country's Shia Muslims there is a tradition that being buried there guarantees a place in paradise. As a consequence, as presenter Adnan Sarwar said dryly on arrival, death is huge here, as tradesmen doubtless said in ancient Babylon 3,000 years back. Business was not as good as it used to be. It was better under Saddam, grizzled one Najaf undertaker. The former dictator was always executing people, and it kept them busy. All this tosh about justice and human rights had spoiled everything. Here was a man who looked back on purges and massacres with unashamed nostalgia. If this remarkable funeral director came across like someone out of a Monty Python sketch, then Najaf's celebrity gravedigger was a breed apart. Ali Alamaya had 800,000 followers on Facebook, and a much-quoted catchphrase. Across the city, people broke from their business to grin at the cameras and recite, "Who's going to bury you?" Maybe in a land of so much bloodshed, the only thing you can do is laugh.